Hi everybody, Jo here. Thanks so much for popping in again. Now today I thought we'd look at some inspiration for our challenge. Every month we give you a theme. You can enter your design up to 5 times and you can win a £40 voucher. But because it's Christmas, the December one, you can win a £60 voucher to spend at Lavinia. The theme for December is Snow is Falling. We can create some lovely scenes with snow, but I thought I'd go for some of our older stamps and look at the emboss resist technique. And I thought we'd go for snowflake, because again, that's snow, isn't it? And we're going to create one that will fit on a 6x6 square card. As always, look, little bit in the corner for the envelope, got to be done. But I just thought I'd show you, I do love DL cards. I think there's something quite elegant. And I've got my lovely panel for my wording, for my sentiment. You know I love doing these. And I just think it works so well. And once again, envelope done. So this is a piece of a 5.5 inch multifarious card. And I've got my Lavinia low tack tape here. And all I'm going to do is I just want to use the grid on my mat to put my tape on. So it's going to go there. And I always have my tape a little bit longer so I can just pop it round the back. For me, it works well for this type of design. And what we're going to use first for our emboss resist, we're going to use some embossing powder. And this is the opaque bright white. And my Versamark ink pad. Now this is a sticky ink. It is clear-ish. It does give it a watermark effect. So I do try and keep one as clean as possible. So it is good if your stamps are clean when you start using your Versamark. And the stamps I'm going to use, we've got the snowflakes, the large, and I've chosen one off that set. It's a set of 3. And then we've got the medium snowflakes, and I've chosen 2 of those. And then we've a lovely set that's just called snowflakes. It's an older set of 3 and 2 individual ones. So we're going to stamp first, use our embossing powder, which we will heat up with a heat tool. So I'm going to take the lid off this so it's ready. And then we're going to go over with ink. So we do the lovely embossing first here, look, the white areas, and then we're going to bring the ink in after, because it's the embossing that creates the resist to that ink. So it won't take the ink, we can cover it, but this will stay white. So that's my theory. So I'm going to use my larger one first. So I'm going to put the large one here, and I'm just going to stamp the large one once. Now, the thing is with this, you won't see where it is. If you angle it, you can see a slight resist. I'm not sure if the camera will pick that up. So you almost have to be mindful of where you've stamped. So I'm going to come in next with this one. And I want this one just coming off that there. And then in this corner here. Oh, this one's alive. I do have days. I don't know about you. I don't know if it's my stamp that's alive or it's my block. Now, what I'm going to do at this point, I don't want to stamp my smaller one because in all honesty, I can't quite see. So I'm going to come in with my powder and cover the whole thing. Now, you could use your anti-static bag, but my theory is if I catch any bits of powder on the card, it will just look like snow. So I don't mind. Now I've missed a little bit there, so I can just catch that back up, look, pop it over, and I just give it a tap. Now any that catches on my tape there, I'm just going to brush off because I want to save as much of this. And there we go, you can see it. I need a little bit more in that corner. And again, give it a gentle tap. Ah, that's covered it. So I can see where I've got that large. I'm happy with that. So what I'm going to do is just put this to one side carefully. I could put it back in there, but for me, and this is how I work, and it's important you see that. So I'm just going to add some of the little snowflake, and I'm going to pop one there, and just fill in a few of these spaces. I don't want to overcook it. I want some nice clear space. It's always nice if you've got that clear space. It lets the mind rest. So what I can do now, look, is scoop this up on here. And this is my way of just not having to pop it back in the jar. But I can catch it. Just want a little bit more at the bottom. And all I'm doing is scooping it up each time and then letting it just pop back in. Now, I do apologise if I keep knocking my lamp. I'm trying to get my lamp at a good place so we don't get a lot of shadow. I think I may have to invest in a new lamp. But it's what sort and where to have it. So, but when I try and get it over the top, I end up knocking it. So I'm trying to be good and not knock it. So I do apologise. Right, so I'm going to clear that. And then at this point, this can all go back in, look. Still amazes me. I think as a crafter, for me, embossing was one of the first things I learnt, the first techniques. And I think you never get tired of it. It really is pure magic. And the powder's magic because there always seems so much that goes back in that pot. Now we're going to heat it up. I will warn you, the heat tool is a bit noisy. I'm using the embossing tool and I'm going to put it on its highest setting and I'm going to heat it up first and then bring it onto my card. The important thing with embossing, if you're one of our new followers, is when it's on, don't waft it round. You've got more chance of actually burning or overcooking the embossing powder. When it's heated up, slowly move round and you will see it turn. And I've just noticed I've got a little bit there I don't want, so we'll get rid of that with our brush. And a bit of a blow. Yeah, lovely. So I'm going to hopefully try and show you that. So I'll just heat it up first. But it's important it's nice and warm when you start. And we'll start in the corner up here. And I'm hoping you can see how that's turned. And we'll go to the next snowflake. And then this one here. And hopefully you can see as I work my way round. So that one's gone, little one here, and the last one there. There we go, that's all nicely embossed, so I'm happy with that. So we've now got that emboss resist, so we're going to come in with some colour. And the colours I've gone for is the Mermaid Lagoon, and we're using the oxides and the Villainous Potion. And then I've got 2 of my stencil brushes, and I've gone for the larger ones. The size 9, and I'm going to start with my blue and I'm just going to go over where I've embossed and just almost tickle an area. You know, I always say this, hold your brush loosely, and I love the word tickle. I started using it when I noticed at workshops some ladies were quite heavy-handed going through a stencil, and I found if they said to themselves the word tickle, they were less heavy-handed. So even when you're doing this, it's useful to just think of that. Now, don't worry, your embossing powder will go slightly blue, but we will buff it up later and get it back to white, so don't panic. Now, in the lid, and then I'm just going to put some blue over here and into this corner. And then I think I'll take the blue down here. And I'll do this corner. But I'm going to add some purple now, just because then I can always decide where if I want more blue. And just be mindful, when you're near that tape, look, you don't want to go under the tape. So move it round if you have to. So again, in with the purple. And don't worry about the joins with your colours. We can neaten those up in a minute. Now I just want a little bit more purple in this corner, look. And I'll just turn it round so you can see what we've got so far. Now I've just noticed I've come down here a little under the tape. So what I'll do is pick a little bit of purple up and then bring it over here so it looks like I was supposed to do that. Now I'm just not keen on the areas where it matches, so what I tend to do is pick a little bit of ink up on my brush and just go over the areas where the colours blend between that purple and the blue. So I'll pick some up, and I'm just picking it up from the lid. There's enough in the lid, and I won't get a stronger colour, so for me I find when I'm blending it's nicer. I don't want it too strong. Thinking a little bit more purple from the lid, just to come in here, work on that area. You know, if you don't like what you've got, just work at it, just blend those colours. And it's nice sometimes just to go in with the brush. There'll be ink left on your brush and the colours will blend lovely. Right, I'm happy with that, and I like the way we've got a little bit of white space here and here. Right, so lid's on. And then before we clean it up or anything, we're going to add our faux bleaching. So my fan brush is in my water pot, and come in now and add some water. And this will give us those lovely speckles in the background. If you're not happy with your blending, it's fabulous, because do you know what? It takes your mind away from the blending. Now, a little tip here for me, I would let this dry naturally, because I find if I come in with the heat tool, what you have to watch with your embossing powder, like I was saying before, if you overheat it, you can burn it. And for me, if I use the heat tool to dry this, I've more chance of burning my embossing. And for me, it doesn't give as good a result. So I would be patient. Now I'm going to block mine because I know you don't want to wait here for sort of an extra few minutes. But my tip here is, we might as well clean this while we're waiting. At home, maybe do 2 or 3 of these. Batch card make them. I think they would be lovely to batch card make, and tags. I've got a sneaky little tag here. Got to be honest, what I tend to do now is any card I've got, look, I make a spare tag. Craft yarns on here, look. So while you're doing it, and I was at Lavinia the other day, and I've got these most gorgeous red berries, which I'm going to use on my next lot. So every time I do some cards, I now cut myself some tags with the lovely tag die that we sell, and then I've got spare. And I find that way, do you know what? My card box and my tags, I'm nearly ready for Christmas. So my little tip here is get yourself a piece of kitchen roll or tissue, and we'll just dab this dry. As I say, normally I probably would wait a few more minutes, but you'll be able to see we'll still get that faux bleaching. So can you see we've got the lovely, lovely faux bleaching in the background. Now, I just want to buff these areas to take off a little bit of ink that's on there. And what I find is because my kitchen roll has got a pattern in it, it's not very soft. So I just tend to go for a little cotton pad. And what I find is if I then buff, look at the difference. Can you see here? So this one I've just wiped, this one I haven't. And we just get a little bit of that residual ink. So we'll just buff these ones at the bottom here, look. And look at the difference, how bright are they? So we'll go round. And as I say, that's just because the embossing powder resists the ink. Now this works well with lots of other stamps. So if you have a go, if you've not had a go at this before, please tag me and I'd love to see what you do. Now the snow shrub that I used last week would be lovely with this technique as well. Now look at that. I just think, I mean, for me, I love it. I think it's stunning. Now what I'm going to do is the tape. The tape will come off beautifully, but because I'm heating the back, I'm just going to use my other heat tool quickly on the back, and that will just loosen the tape. But I don't want to use it on the front, like I say, I don't want to overheat this area. But look at that, it peels off beautifully. And that gives me that lovely panel to add my sentiments. And I'm just checking that my card's nice and flat, which it is. And I've gone for one of the Christmas greetings, and I love the one that says Christmas blessings. And because I want my colours to coordinate, I've gone for my Versamark Claire. And as you know, I'm into this 2-coloured at the minute. Now, it might be, if you want to just stamp in one colour, by all means do that. But I've gone for Bally Blue and Very Perry. And I'm going to ink up the stamp with Bally Blue completely. And then with the Very Perry, I'm just going to pop it at an angle and just catch the base, just to give a little bit of interest. And I'm going to pop that just in the middle there. And for me, I just think it looks a little bit different having the 2 colours. And then finally, I'm going to come in with a bit more sparkle, which I just can't resist. It is Christmas after all. If you want to leave it like that, the longer one here I've left. But I want that bit of sparkle, so I'm going to come in with my Sizzix Crystal Paste. And remember, take the lid off and the little stop, you need to keep that. And then I'm just going to, with my finger, I'm just going to dab a little bit on over the snowflakes. And this will dry. And at the open day, when I was using it, was amazing. Within sort of 30 minutes, it was started to dry. And it's lovely because it is just so dimensional, and so just adds that extra bit of Christmassiness. Bit of snow, because after all, snow is falling. And if I want, I can just add some. Now, I'm just going to wipe my finger. Pop that over there a minute. My best tip with the lid, I found when I put the lid on, I just literally tip it in like this and press it round the edge. The first time I pressed it in the middle and the whole lid went in the middle, and it was quite eventful, shall we say, trying to get the lid back out. So that's my best tip for you, but make sure it's secure. And then you've got this lovely, now I'll bring in the one that's dry just to show you how dimensional it is. Look, it's quite raised and it is tough. It goes through the post, no problem. I posted one to a friend just to check and it got there lovely. And it just adds that extra bit of yumminess. So, I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm going to pop that one under there. And I hope you have a go. If you've not done your resist, have a go at the technique. I'm sure most of you have. But also, it's a great way of making some quick Christmas cards if you need them, and matching tags. Best of all though, enter it in the challenge. Snow is falling. And remember, this month, you get that £60, one of you, and it's chosen at random. So, even better. So you take care, have a lovely evening, look after yourself, sleep well, and I will see you again tomorrow. Love and hugs from me. Bye for now.